What if the greatest scientific discovery in history wasn't a cure or a machine, but a key to bring dinosaurs back to life? But what if that key fell into the wrong hands? This is not just a story about science. It's a story about power, ambition, and the thin line between saving the world and destroying it. Welcome to the Genesis of Ruin, a journey into a future shaped by the DNA of the past. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may change how you see humanity forever. The Genesis of Ruin. In a world thirsting for the secrets of the past, a hidden facility nestled between the snowy peaks of Patagonia carried the weight of a dream.
It was no ordinary lab.
No, this was where humanity dared to dance with time. And 8 scientists, brilliant, daring, and flawed, stood at the edge of a discovery that could rewrite evolution. Their mission had started innocently, with a single fossilized rib bone discovered deep beneath the permafrost. It had belonged to a Tyrannosaurus rex, so well-preserved that viable strands of ancient DNA glistened like golden threads in its marrow. That discovery changed everything. They called themselves Project Regenesis. Each of the 8 brought something unique. Dr. Cassandra Lee, the geneticist with a heart for animals. Dr. Milk Ram, the molecular engineer obsessed with perfection. Dr. Akash Sharma, the quiet soul who could read genomes like poetry. Dr. Lena Voss, the linguist of neural codes. Dr. Malik Ortega, the roboticist who gave life to machines. Dr. Farah Al-Salem, the bioethicist who warned against playing God. Dr. Emile Durand, the silent observer and master of biochemistry. And finally, Dr. Sami Azrin, the visionary, bright, bold, and deeply kind. Years passed in fevered obsession. They cloned cells, reconstructed neural pathways, and finally distilled a miraculous serum, 8 injections, one for each dinosaur species they revived in their simulations. Not to grow dinosaurs.
Not yet.
But to study what made them so powerful, so dominant. These were not merely attempts to recreate monsters, they were keys to rewriting human evolution. The serums were locked in a hidden vault, buried beneath 300 meters of rock. Only 2 people knew the full access code. Dr. Sami Azrin and Dr. Milk Ram. Sami believed the injections were a dangerous temptation. Milk believed they were humanity's next step. The betrayal, it was a stormy night when it happened. The security systems fell into a strange blackout for 17 minutes, long enough for Milk to slip into the vault and extract 3 vials. He took Raptorus, Titanes, and Magnaroth, 3 serums derived from the fiercest, most intelligent predator traits. His body burned as he injected them one by one. The pain was unspeakable, but when it faded, he stood.
Changed.
Faster than sound. Stronger than steel. Senses that stretched across miles, and above all, a mind sharpened with cold, perfect calculation. Milk Ram disappeared that night. And a new being was born, Vornix. The rise of Vornix, he did not want fame. He wanted dominion. Appearing across world capitals like a whisper of dread, Vornix began dismantling global systems of power. Military bases crumbled under his touch. Satellites fell from the sky. Banks and governments collapsed into dust. He spoke only once on a hacked worldwide broadcast. "You built a world on chaos, greed, and lies. I offer you evolution. Follow me, or vanish." To many, he was a messiah, a protector, a god. To others, he was a tyrant worse than any dictator. Civilizations fractured, borders blurred, and war, true, global war, ignited like dry wood catching flame. The awakening of hope. Sami stood in silence, watching the ruins of what he had helped create. The lab was gone, his team scattered or missing. Cassandra was presumed dead, Malik imprisoned, Lena lost in an attack on Geneva. But one remained, Dr. Emile Durand. He found Sami in a hidden shelter in northern Canada where the last known backup of the vault data had been stored. Sami had resisted for so long. He had warned them all. But now, the world was paying the price for curiosity without conscience. "Doctor," Emile whispered, holding a single vial in trembling hands. "We must fight him. You are the only one who can." Sammy stared at the serum. It shimmered green and gold. Seraphis, a hybrid of plant-based DNA and peaceful herbivores, designed to strengthen empathy, healing, and resilience. "It wasn't meant for this," he murmured. "No," Emil said. "But neither were we." He didn't hesitate any longer. The injection burned less than he feared. And when it settled, he felt not power, but presence. A connection to the living world, to every breath of wind and cry of pain. He could sense every wounded soul left in Vornix's wake. Sammy became something new, something luminous. The world called him Solaro. A world-divided nations split overnight. One side pledged loyalty to Vornix, the god of might and evolution. The other stood with Solaro, the guardian of humanity's heart. These weren't just battles, they were wars of belief. Some thought Solaro was weak for choosing peace. Others hated Vornix for punishing the corrupt, but harming the innocent. They clashed in the skies over Istanbul, beneath the oceans off the coast of Australia, in the ruins of New York and the glowing remains of Shanghai. The earth wept beneath their struggle. But it was in the hollow silence of a destroyed African village where they finally met again. Friends torn by fate, they stood amid the ashes of what was once a community of laughter and life. "Look at what you've done," Solaro whispered. "I've done what you wouldn't," Vornix answered coldly. "I cleansed. I purified. You destroyed families. You killed children. To build a better world," he hissed. "Pain is the price of perfection." Sammy reached for him, not to fight, but to plead. "You were once milk. You believed in life, in knowledge. Don't you see? You're not saving the world. You're breaking it."
He paused.
For a flicker of a second, something human rippled through his face. "I am the world now," he said. And then he attacked. The final battle, it was not a clash of fists or lasers. It was a storm of ideologies, colliding with the fury of history itself. The skies split. Trees withered and regrew. Animals stampeded in confusion. Oceans rose and fell. People watched in terror and awe. But Solaro did not strike to kill. He fought to remind.
To heal.
To hold on to what little light remained in Milk's heart. And that was his strength. As the final blow fell, he whispered, "You wanted to become more than human, Milk. But humanity is our greatest power." Milk collapsed, weeping, for the first time in years. He was just a man again. The aftermath, they locked away the remaining serums, forever this time. The world would never be the same. Over half the planet's population had taken sides. Trust was a distant memory, peace a fragile thread. But something grew from the ashes. A new council of scientists, ethical, transparent,
Diverse.
not to dominate nature, but to walk beside it. The moral we often believe we are right, especially when our intentions begin pure. But intention is not immunity. Power is a tool, not a truth. Knowledge is a flame. It can warm a village or burn it to the ground. And in their pursuit to help the world, 8 scientists forgot the most sacred rule. Just because we can doesn't mean we should. In the end, it wasn't dinosaurs that threatened humanity. It was our own hands.
2 scientists.
One chose destruction. The other chose compassion. And the world was split. Not by war, but by the choices we make when we forget who we are. Remember, just because we can doesn't mean we should. Thank you for listening to The Genesis of Ruin. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And always question where the line between progress and danger truly lies.